On that note, we are recording in an order that would surprise you. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line as he does every week to talk about the world of movies, entertainment, and everything in between. Friends, it is one Mike Reyes. What's going on, Mike?
Not much, but I think more than one me might be too much for people. So, yeah, we're just going to keep it to the one Mike Reyes.
I inundated Mike with a couple different things this morning, and we've been laughing because it's Thursday and it's time to talk about the world of movies. Mike, this week we've got a couple new movies out. We've got a bunch of movie trailers. Let's dive in. The big one out this week is Red One. This is The Rock and brain's not quite firing. Who else is in this?
There would be one Chris Evans, one J.K. Simmons, one Bonnie Hunt, and one Lucy Liu.
Okay, all right. So this is a Santa Claus movie, holiday thing. What's going on here? Did we like it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. So basic plot points, Santa kidnapped. We don't know who did it, or at least we didn't know until some of the newer trailers started playing with it a little more. But you've got Callum Drift, the head of basically North Pole Security, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, looking to get Santa back, and he has to team up with Jack the Wolf O'Malley, a crack hacker slash morally gray criminal dude played by Chris Evans, who is now America's deadbeat dad.
Are you surprised that you like this?
Yes. I am actually surprised, and that's not mocking anybody with this. I mean, this is directed by Jake Kasdan, who's done the last two Jumanji Lego sequels with The Rock, and I was not a fan of those movies. And holiday movies are so hard to make because you can make like a kind of easy, simple kind of throwaway one. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
They put in the effort with this movie because they've been mentioning in the press run to this movie, producer Hiram Garcia, who works over at $7 Productions with The Rock, he had an idea that he wanted to make like a kick-ass Santa movie. He wanted to make a kick-ass holiday movie. And it's like, okay, you could totally say that, but you're not always going to get a violent night out of that. Red One, I would say, is one of two holiday movies I'm surprised skews a little more offbeat and off-color than it does. Because this is a PG-13 movie, but it takes advantage of the PG-13 rating. There's some choice profanities that are thrown out through here. There's also there's a really good amount of world building. There's some stuff that comes up that reminds me of Guardians, Rise of the Guardians, where it's like this, basically the world of mythical creatures and holiday icons sort of bound together by this universe. And it's never begging you to want a cinematic universe out of it. It just shows this stuff, and it's like, I want to see more of the Headless Horseman. I want to know what the Headless Horseman does in this universe. Let's get a Krampus movie. And this is, I mean, I saw it in an earlier press screening, but I want to go see this again in 4DX because the sleigh scenes alone look like they're going to be fun for the seats. But J.K. Simmons proves that he is a beautiful Santa yet again. For the first time in live action, because he also did the voice of Santa in Netflix's Claus, which you should definitely see. But pretty action-packed, a lot of fun. Like, I was actually there with one of my fellow journalist friends at the screening for this, and we were both just digging in and having a lot of fun. And Chris Evans knows just how to make you laugh, but then there's certain scenes where he, like, breaks your heart. And there's one scene that is basically you see the turn of his character, like the literal pivot point of his character. And I don't say this in a bad way, but you can feel it with like acute precision, like scalpel-like precision that this character is turning and you understand why he's turning. Because it's a holiday movie, of course he's going to turn.
Yeah. I told you I had thoughts about this movie when we talked at one point.
Yeah.
This looks like a fun movie, except I am so sick to death of The Rock at this point.
I can get that. And I get that he's... Oh, go on.
All I was going to say is I want to not like this because The Rock is in it.
I can understand that impulse because The Rock is one of those people where they're almost dangerously overexposed. The man hustles and he likes to do projects, and I get that. I mean, we're going to see him again in Moana. We're going to hear him again in Moana 2 in a couple weeks. But I think what he may be, at least with Red One, they did this, and I'm wondering if this is maybe just going to be something that pervades his work or finds its way into his work, He's a good supporter. He's a very good supporter in this movie because this really is Chris Evans' movie. He steals it, and it does focus on him a good amount, and his character is sort of the heart. But also you have this sort of trio that forms in this movie of Lucy Liu, Dwayne Johnson, and Chris Evans, where it's like, this is a really cool team. I want to see this team working together more and like maybe work on other holidays or do whatever. Like they're very effective. And I was at the press conference and Lucy Liu talked about how she has this big action scene in the movie. She did not know that it was going to be that big one that she signed up. Like the director was like, oh, it's just going to be, a little bit of action. And then before they know it, things kind of changed. And they're like, yeah, you have to learn all this. And she was like, it's a very impromptu action scene.
I don't feel like we've seen Lucy Liu a ton over the year, or like she hasn't stuck out. Does that make sense?
We haven't. I don't think we've seen a ton of her either. Like I remember she was on Elementary for a couple of years on CBS, their modern redo of Sherlock Holmes with Johnny Lee Miller. But it was nice to see her doing action again. If anybody's thinking about that Charlie's Angels Legacy sequel, I would say do it. Just do it.
Okay. All right. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with me right now. All right. So Red One, surprisingly good. Can you take kids to it?
I would say maybe tweens, like young teen, like tweens would be like the entry level. Like this isn't a little kid movie.
Okay.
Like there is holiday magic in here, but at the same time, this is a little more hard edged. And I think that's exactly the type of holiday movie we kind of need, because a lot of the holiday magic sort of movies are definitely aimed more towards children or adults with healthy inner children, and it doesn't always work.
Okay.
And then like you've got something like Klaus, where it's good for kids, but it also has this really deep story and emotional core to it that adults can latch onto it and kids can still enjoy it. But then you've got this where it's like, it's a lot of action. This feels like it could have existed in late 80s, early 90s. Like I'm betting Shane Black is kind of sitting there wishing he made this movie, because he's like the Christmas action buddy cop comedy king. And that's kind of what this felt like, but for families.
All right. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with me. The other movie we're going to talk about this week, Hot Frosty. This is a Netflix thing, right?
Yes. And this isn't indicative of the quality of the movie, but I say the term Hot Frosty, and it just sounds like some sort of sex term South Park came up with.
A little bit.
Like, you remember the episode where they talked about the hot Cosby?
Yes. That's
exactly what sort of came to mind. But again, it's not a knock to the movie. It's just like, I know this is your title. I know this is what you're going for, but it's just like, I hear Hot Frosty, I think Hot Cosby.
All right. So what do we think of this?
Surprisingly cute.
All right.
Like I went into this expecting more of your traditional like Hallmark holiday sort of cheery and yay romance. This movie is you'd expect.
Oh, okay.
This movie there are like so many women lusting over the Hot Frosty, because the whole thing is, it's kind of like a holiday. What if Mannequin was made by Netflix trying to do a Hallmark movie?
Oh,
but
Mannequin.
They let it be funny and they let it be, because the whole thing is Lacey Chabert plays this woman who's in a small town called Hope Springs, because this is a holiday movie, and she puts a scarf on a random snowman in a moment of sort of bittersweet sort of reflection, and then the snowman turns into I believe his name is Justin Milligan. Yeah, Justin Milligan, who people would recognize as Ted, the vet from Schitt's Creek. And where has this man been hiding those muscles? Because I do not remember him having those on Schitt's Creek. The dude is jacked the man is jacked to 11.
Okay.
In this thing. And it's like, wow, that's that I was not expecting that.
All right, so that's over on Netflix, and that's out this weekend, correct?
Yeah, and again, it's just like, it is a serious, it's seriously fun.
All
like,
right.
it's very light, and it's not one of those, it does kind of make fun of itself a little bit, but like in a way that it's like, it's borrowing a little bit from Not Another Teen Movie, but it's not, it's that sort of humor where it's like like borderline parody.
Okay. All right. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with us as we talk about the world of movies and entertainment. That kind of takes care of it for the movie portion this week. But we did get a bunch of trailers this week, it seems like. The biggest of all, probably Mission Impossible, right?
Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. It's almost done. It's almost here. Like, after years of being in production and everything from a global pandemic to strikes to everything in its way, it looks like it's finally going to be here. And yeah, this trailer is very, very good. I am very happy with this.
When was the last Mission Impossible movie?
The last Mission Impossible movie, which was Dead Reckoning, was, I want to say, 2022. Let's find out.
I legitimately don't remember, but also, and we've talked about this
2023. I'm sorry, that was 2023.
Really?
Because the whole thing was, oh, dude. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the page here because, oh wow, did this movie have a story and a half to it? So Mission Impossible 7 and 8 are announced as like a 2-part movie. Not too long after, I think it was not too long after Fallout came out. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do a 2-part sequel.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was supposed to be out. Oh, how early was it supposed to be out? I want to say it was supposed to be out in like, I don't remember the original release date. It's been that many. They've had that many release date postponements because, again, they had the COVID-19 pandemic start to compete with, and that sort of made them have to push production for both films. And then November 19th, 2021 was the original release date. Then it was supposed to be out May 27th, 2022, September 30th, 2022. Then it finally came out on July 14th, 2023. And then that pushed the second movie through all these different hoops. And then on top of that, you had a title change because Dead Reckoning Part 1 did okay. So now that plan was changed, and now it's Mission Impossible: The Last Reckoning. And it looks fantastic, although I have a feeling they're going to be borrowing from No Time to Die in a couple of ways, because it looks like Ethan Hunt might die in this one. It might be his final mission, the final reckoning, as they said. And some stuff is cropping up from the original, like some of the earlier movies, like Mission Impossible 1 and Mission Impossible 3 are very important to this trailer.
The knife from the first one that fell from the roof, it seemed like it was a big deal for some reason.
Yep, Krieger's knife from Mission Impossible 1 and the rabbit's foot from Mission Impossible 3. And I am going to be writing a lot more about that, because not only does that perk my ears up, because we never knew what that thing did, we might actually learn that now. And it might be used as a threat against the world, because it looks like a biological weapon. We never really heard what it was. We just knew it was a weapon of mass destruction.
Really? We never learned? Oh, my goodness. I never even thought about that.
The rabbit's foot has been sitting as an open mystery for over almost 20 years.
You know what?
A little over 20 years.
That never even came into my head.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a fan of this franchise, I'll say.
Yeah, you are, and there's nothing wrong with that. There hasn't been one I haven't not liked. I just feel like we keep doing it.
I feel like Dead Reckoning was okay, but it's not my favorite. Like, my favorite is Ghost Protocol. Like, you've got Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible 3, and Rogue Nation are my top 3.
Okay. I don't know what it is. It kind of gets into that Fast and Furious movie where they all kind of start blending together for me.
Yeah, and then eventually it gets to a point where it's like, what are we going to do with this story? And, I mean, this is the second time, technically the third time, if you count the slight walk back that they did in between these movies, where we're being teased with Ethan Hunt's potential retirement / demise / employment at a Chuck E. Cheese.
If you put a gun to my head right now and said, like, tell me the plot of each of these movies, I couldn't. I've seen them. I couldn't tell you which one was which. It's the same thing.
I could do it.
Of course you could. You're a big fan of this stuff. Like, I
kind of want to go on.
I could do 1, 2, and 3, and after that it would get sketchy.
I feel like we should do a special episode where you just literally, like a timed challenge where you mention the movie and I run through as much as I can in like a minute or something.
That sounds horrible.
That sounds like fun, but sure, you can think it's horrible.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend. All right, so when is this coming out?
Or May 23rd. May 23rd, 2025, with an alleged running time of 3 hours, 22 minutes, according to Google.
Holy
I doubt it, but I also wouldn't hate it if it's done right. Because let's not forget there's the fact that there was a 4-hour cut of Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
And I want to see that if someone has it locked away, because I want to see if it makes any more sense than that.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joins me to talk about the world of movies. Through the power of editing, you have no idea that we took a minor break there. Because Mike actually had another trailer pop up into the world. I mean, we were already talking about movie trailers, and then a new one that's kind of highly anticipated dropped today. You want to talk about it now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not? We're doing the show.
We're doing it.
Part of
everybody,
why we took the break. It's just gonna happen, Just let it happen.
All right, so it's Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz.
Yes, Back in Action, which is going to be on Netflix January 17th, 2025.
This looks like a Netflix movie.
I think it looks more fun. I mean, more fun than what you're trying to say. I mean, I am very reserved on using that sort of term because streaming services have made some really good movies. And I hate throwing that sort of term out there where it's like, oh, this is a streaming service movie.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
you know what? What was the one with Mark Wahlberg that just came out?
The Union?
Yeah, where he teamed up with
Halle Berry?
Halle Berry
and J.K. Simmons.
I got the same vibe for this. It's like, oh, I should be really excited about this. And then I remember the Union. I'm like, I'm not going to be excited about this.
This looks different from that. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned Mark Wahlberg.
Does it look that much different?
Yeah, because if you're going to really make the Mark Wahlberg comparison, the movie that it most looks like is The Family Plan. Because you've got a pair of former operatives who are retired, they have a family, and now for some reason bad dudes are in town and they are about to get wrapped up in it all over again.
This is the one that was delayed because of Jamie Foxx's illness, right?
Yes, Jamie Foxx was hospitalized during production, and I don't know if his stand-up specials come out yet or if it's on the road to being out. But I know that they said there's a Netflix special that he has, and he's apparently addressing like his health concerns through that show.
Yeah, we've never heard what exactly happened, right?
Yeah, and like to be completely honest, if the family's not ready to talk, if Jamie Foxx isn't ready to talk, I'm okay.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Like I especially when I hate to mention this, but we're going through the Liam Payne news, where all these different things are sort of coming out about the former One Direction member who died after I thought they said he jumped from his balcony. There's just a lot of different things that are coming out of that, and it's like you follow this sort of story long enough, it'll probably take a toll on you, like psychically, or like you're not gonna feel good.
Yeah.
And obviously when there's someone like Jamie Foxx who's like well renowned and everybody knows him, and I as far as I can say, everybody loves him. I don't really see a reason not to, but I could be wrong. Anyway, I love Jamie Foxx. He's a good guy. We obviously don't want to go too hard on that sort of story, because it's like, look, he's still recovering. He's got to do what he's got to do.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And
I was saying it more in the realm of we just haven't ever heard. Not that we need to know, but
I know. I was complimenting that with what I had said.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend. So this is going to be out in January. We'll talk about it a little bit more down the line. It looks good. I don't think it's going to be anything groundbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, it's January, so that's really the time of year where you throw out sort of like big action or just see what sticks.
Yeah.
Like you just throw out different movies to see what sticks.
Another movie that I think will be like holiday play by the numbers, but I don't know why I'm so interested in it, is we got a trailer for Dear Santa.
You're interested in it because it's the Farley brothers. It is because it's the Farley brothers looking like they're going back to their Dumb and Dumber sort of roots. And did you see Ricky Stenicki?
Yes, I did.
That's probably also why you're looking forward to this, because, oh wait, how did you like Ricky Stenicki?
It was okay, as I recall. It's been a while, and I can't remember how much I paid attention to it.
Yeah, see, I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a solid base hit, because it's the Farley brothers. I don't know if it was both Farley brothers or just one of them. I keep forgetting, but they're both still working in movies right now, and they are just genuinely. It feels like they're having fun. At least the Farley brother or brothers, like whoever's working on Ricky Stenicki and Dear Santa, looks like they're having fun.
Yeah.
Because it's just taking these it's taking a simple concept that everybody can relate to and just going balls to the walls with it. Ricky Stenicki's like, what about if, that fake friend or that fake excuse everybody makes up to get out of things, what if it comes back to bite you? And Dear Santa is the whole, like, I'm sure there's tons of memes where it's like, what if the kid accidentally writes to Satan and then Satan gets to be Santa? But then it looks like it's going to go into that there's an emotion that you didn't think was going to be in there, and it hits you out of nowhere. Like, I remember Stuck on You was one that really did that. And even Ricky Stenicki, because it's just the fact that, like, John Cena's character was this loser that really wanted to be someone and be welcomed with people.
Yeah. No, again, I don't think this is going to be anything we haven't seen before, but I don't know why, but it just seems funny to me. And Jack Black, like, seems like the character he's playing, like, it makes sense to me.
Jack Black as Satan playing Santa in a Farley brothers movie. How do you? I mean, that's the DNA right there. That's the DNA sequence you're looking at, and I'm excited for it. I mean, the one thing I'll ask is, since we've got Satan played by Jack Black going into Christmas, he better have the pick of destiny hiding somewhere. Otherwise, forget it. I'm done.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with me. A couple of the other movies we got into, Nutcrackers. That's going to be another holiday movie. Oh, by the way, going back to Dear Santa, I didn't realize that's coming out real soon. That's November 25th over on Paramount.
Yeah, and that kind of surprised me, because the deal for Ricky Stenicki was over at Prime. And I thought, like, if they were going to have a movie coming out this quickly with a Farley brother attached to it, like, how is this not automatically built at Prime? But I guess there might have been some other deal or something else in the works that we don't know about. And yeah.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend. The other holiday movie, I don't know a ton about, but Nutcrackers, that's a Ben Stiller thing. Loses his wife, has to take kids through Christmas, falls in love with somebody.
Loses his sister, it sounds like, not his wife.
Oh,
loses his sister.
Okay.
And he has to take care of the rowdy kids around the holidays because they're still looking for a family that they're looking to put them in the system. And it's Ben Stiller, and Linda Cardellini plays the potential love interest / child services person.
And the kids end up with Ben Stiller at the end.
I mean, probably. But I thought the trailer looked okay.
Yeah.
It was actually the first I had even heard about this movie, because like, out of nowhere, it's like, oh, Nutcrackers? What is it? What is this? And it's like Hulu. It's like, what? And then David Gordon Green is directing it, who, if you know David Gordon Green, he's done everything from Your Highness to the latest trilogy of Halloween movies.
Yeah.
He's also creator or he's also a presence that helped create and foster shows like The Righteous Gemstones. Like, I was really surprised to see this coming up, and it's like, this is, I think it's the same day. I think it's November 29th, and it's on Hulu. And it's like, wow, that's really, really short notice.
And we're going to have a whole weekend of just movies to watch. It's all going to be holiday themed, and it's going to be awesome and rocking and everything in between. One of the other movies, The Amateur. This looks like a thinker, like a spy, weird movie, CIA type thing, or FBI. I can't remember which one it was.
CIA.
It's
the CIA. Rami Malek plays an analyst who loses his wife, played by Rachel Brosnahan, to armed terrorists, and he wants revenge. And the
Cool.
one of the things that sets this apart for me is there is literally a scene where he's like, I want mission training. I want to be sent out there. And then his superiors laugh and they're like, you couldn't even fight a 90-pound elderly woman and you're asking us to do this. And then that leads to a scene of Lawrence Fishburne trying to teach Rami Malek how to become a killer. And it's like, okay, Lawrence Fishburne as the mentor and just doing his Lawrence Fishburne thing, or just yelling at Rami Malek to point a gun at him and do all this stuff. And it's like, oh, man. And then Rami Malek going man on fire on these guys. Like, it's going to be a blast. It's like, what if Rami Malek was a slightly uncertain Jack Ryan? It sounds like the rhythm section, actually. It feels like the rhythm section of Blake Lively, but not derivative. Just that's a close cousin that if you want to get a feeling for what this looks like.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with me. A few more, believe it or not, a few more trailers to go through. Two that I stumbled across today. We don't need to go into them too far. But the Beatles 64 coming out on Disney Plus later on this month. I saw a trailer for that, brand new trailer at least. Looks like a good, if you're a Beatles fan, it looks like you'll be into it. The other one I stumbled across was, have you seen the thing for Call Me Ted on Max?
No, but I saw that's coming up.
It looks really interesting.
I'm going to have to watch the trailer for it because I was on Max the other night, and it was probably the Penguin finale was why I was on there. Or no, my wife and I were watching last week.
We got to talk about the Penguin, don't we?
Yes, we do. We could save that for the end.
Okay.
But especially because there's all the spoilers. But there was a lot of trailers that I saw that looked interesting. Like I didn't see the Call Me Ted one because I don't think the trailer was up yet. But I saw a trailer for a James Carville documentary, which the moment my wife watched that, she's like, "Where the was this guy during the election?" And I was like, "He's probably retired. Like he was like a young buck during the Clinton administration and the campaign. So that guy's not."
See, I'm in the other way. I feel like that guy's been old for a long time.
He has a unique look.
Yeah,
I will say that. And I still remember the Family Guy gag with that, where it was just kind of like, oh wow, you're ugly, and not just regular ugly, but like circus ugly.
You know what made that even funnier?
Time, it's like, what?
It's the second time your phone cuts out for like 3 seconds, and it's both times have been right when you've started to say like it's just like it's perfect. It's perfect. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. One of the other trailers we got Marvel What If Season 3.
Ooh, yeah.
Are you excited about it?
I am excited about it. I need to catch up because I did not watch Season 2. Not for lack of interest, but again, one of those things where it's like, I have to prioritize what I'm doing here. And it was around the holidays. So it's like holidays is prestige season. There's a lot of different movies we need to be seen, to be reviewed, to really catch up if you want to do a proper top 10 list. So it's like anything that comes out around the end of the year is just kind of like, I'm going to get to it when I get to it. But What If is something I've definitely been wanting to catch up on because I loved season 1. And now this final season looks like it's going to be truly epic.
Did you watch the trailer?
I am. Yes, I did.
Okay. I thought we talked about that I wanted you to watch because it's got kind of a cool person at the very end.
I'm trying to remember who was at the very end.
Storm.
Oh yes. Oh, Storm wielding Mjolnir.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. So we'll see how that comes out. When does What If Season 3 come out?
That's supposed to be it's at some point in December.
I'm goggling it too here.
Shit.
December 22nd.
Yep. So that's just like I think all 8 of them are going to be up. It begins streaming with a new episode debuting daily for 8 days. So they're going to do like they did last year.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we're going to do drops every day.
I was kind of okay with that.
No, that's cool because that's like the old miniseries sort of approach. Like, I don't mind if you're going to drip feed this story to me over 8 days.
Yeah.
And like the culmination is something that's just, it feels like an event.
I like it. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with me as we talk about the world of movies and entertainment and everything in between. Not that you would have seen it, but my wife and I, we did wrap up The Diplomat season 2 over on Netflix.
I need to watch The Diplomat because I keep hearing A+ stuff about it.
Very, very good show. Very, very. The cliffhanger this year for season 2 is wonderful. It's one of those political stories that it starts as one thing and it kind of weaves into something else. And you're like, oh, God, where are they going with this? And then they kind of figure it out. And then you think you know what's going to happen. And then the rug gets pulled out and it's like, oh, my God.
Oh, I need to see this.
I
need to see this immediately.
It's a very, very well written show. It's good all the way around. It's got good characters. If you get a chance, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but if you get a chance, watch it. It's worth it.
Sold. I'm ready.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend. As we wrap up this week, we're going to dive into the world of The Penguin as the season finale of that show came out this weekend, and I've watched it. You've watched it. If you have not watched it, we are going to talk heavy spoilers here. So if not, if this is where you leave us, thanks for listening. But we are diving into The Penguin now. So
yes, big, massive, mucho spoilers because there need to be because of what we have seen, because of what has transpired.
Okay, overall, and when I ask this question, I think I'm going to give away my answer. But overall, what did you think of the season finale compared to the rest of the season?
I think the season finale was a perfect ending to everything that we had watched. I think it is the perfect punctuation right down to that final moment, because a friend of mine actually, Nick Venable, I believe, was the one who wrote this, wrote a whole story where it's like the Penguin season finale had me until the very last second reveal. And I disagree with the disagreement of that.
We talked about it, that my prediction was that he was going to do something so horrific that it was going to make you remember why he's a bad guy. And I think that came true, right?
Yes, because I stared at that screen and I yelled, "F you," while tears were welling up in my damn eyes when the Penguin was strangling Vic.
Yeah, Vic died. We
see that right down to the method of execution is something that it's even "F you for doing this," but that to him, that was the only way he could have done it, because it was personal. It was him taking Vic out and assuring him in those last moments. It was him making up for his brother's dying.
Yeah.
Like, he just basically, like, he's like, okay, this is such a strategic move. It needs to be done right. It needs to be done by me. And then I'm sitting there just having my heart broken. And it's like, no, this was something that had to happen. Do I wish that Vic was still alive? Yes. Do I want them to pull that card out for the future? No. This needs to be, and also someone, I saw somewhere on social media, someone had said, well, what if this is the clue that sort of tips off the GCPD, wait a minute, the hangman kills like this, but Sophia's locked up. Who did this?
That's a good first breadcrumb. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. Again, this show does not depend on Batman, but when that bat signal went on at the last second and that was the end of the show, I dug it, because we know the Batman 2 is next. And also it's that little bit of hope after the dour ending, because he doesn't kill his mom like she asked, and she's basically in a vegetative state. He's just going to keep her alive and let her watch her little monster reign over people with terror. He has his girlfriend, who's basically in like he's got her on like the Oedipal leash of sorts, where he's having her tell him he's good and her boy and Gotham's his. And
well, she was even kind of dressed like his mom.
Yeah,
in the flashback scene.
So just Lauren LaFranc, the showrunner of the Penguin, major credit and thanks have to go to her and her writing staff and the cast. Like, Matt Reeves is the overseer of the Batman epic crime saga, and I get that. I love the Batman. I love what he does with this series. But for him to put Lauren LaFranc in the driver's seat for the Penguin was fantastic, because she made this a grimy, dirty, double-dealing corner of that same universe, and it was so perfect.
I sort of disagree.
So tell me why I'm wrong.
You know what's weird about it is I didn't disagree with any of the choices made. I wasn't sitting there going, I can't believe they're doing this or anything like that. There was something about it, like the turning it into them trying to get Oz to admit to it. There was something about it that it was like, really? This is what you're worried about now? You're trying to get him to admit to killing his two brothers in front of his mom?
Well, yeah, because she sees, I think what happened was Sophia saw that his mom knew that. She saw that, and even if she didn't see that, she saw that it was a weakness for Oz. Because remember, at the beginning of the series, he lied to people saying she was dead.
Yeah.
And on top of all of that, you now have him basically, he lies to people. He tells the lie that best serves him. He does what best serves him because he is owed, in his own opinion. So that moment was supposed to be the ultimate reckoning where it's like, you need to face the consequences of your actions. You need to realize that you did this to your brothers, and that was not a good move, and your mom knows. So she's gonna, I'm sorry to exercise the bleep button, but like, if there was any show I was gonna throw profanity out for, it's the Penguin.
No, I get it.
It's like, I'm gonna miss the R-rated approach with the Batman Part 2, but again, good difference. Great difference. This is the stuff that Marvel wanted to be doing.
The other thing that was kind of stuck out to me, they captured him once and he escaped once. They captured him again, he escaped. I guess, there is something about him being, escaping from all these situations. I get it, but I didn't hate it by any stretch. I just didn't love it.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, well, no, I don't get that. I'm really surprised that you were just, I'm sorry. I was in sort of autoplay mode for a minute there, I guess, but it's like,
you're fine.
I kind of don't get how you were loving this whole season and then the ending just doesn't feel it for you.
I don't know what it's hard to explain, but I feel like they got sidetracked with that part of the story.
What, with the Penguin and his mom?
Yeah, with the Penguin and his mom and getting him to admit in front of her.
Again, I think that was the play that he's been making power moves for so long. That was the play that Sophia thought she had against him. That was her ace in the hole.
Yeah.
She played it, and unfortunately for now, it did not work. And now the Penguin has the power he wants. He is the villain that we're supposed to see. I think that's damn exciting.
How shitty of a hospital is Arkham if that one doctor could just kind of come and go and, follow this girl around and they're like, really? We haven't stumbled across the fact this guy's a creepy son of a bitch.
Yeah, but I mean, it's because that's another thing. He uses the right people with the right lies. The Penguin just doesn't lie. He tells the best lie for this situation.
Yeah.
And we saw that with the scene with the councilman that he blackmailed earlier. And he just looked at him and he's like, look, the Falcones and the Maronis were in a turf war. And it's all about this new drug. Sophia blew up the lab, killed Sal and his family. Like, the drugs are off the street. You're the guy that helped save Gotham. That's great in an election year. And it's like, he's not even blackmailing him at this point. He's giving him something on a silver platter because this is Gotham, baby. No one wants to look too deep into the truth because when you start unraveling threads like that, it all leads back up to the top. And this is one of the most corrupt cities in comic history. So it's like, you know what? This is the answer that'll keep the people happy. This is the answer that will keep them down and just, oh, we're safe. Okay, I'm voting for you. I'm voting for you again. We're safe now. And obviously, the future is not as rosy as one would think.
I really love the idea of Vic's body being a breadcrumb, but I'm sitting here and I'm trying to figure out what the breadcrumb would be. Like how that would lead to any of this or set off another movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really do like that idea, though. That's really, that'd be really creative.
I do, too. Like, you just start off the Batman Part 2, and it's just, you see Vic's body lying there, and, like, maybe we start with the image of the ID floating in the water, because that was something that really got me. And then you see Vic's body there, and all of a sudden, Jeffrey Wright's Commissioner Gordon's there, or Detective Gordon. I don't think he's commissioner yet. He's there, and he just looks at it, and he's like, wait a minute. You got one of those other cops, like the crooked cop that was over at Sophia's, and he's like, oh, well, the MO matches the hangman. We just got her. And then Gordon's just like, wait a minute. don't we already have the Hangman in
That
custody?
guy's voice.
What if?
The Kurt
Yeah,
Bleak
it's like
sketch.
he sounds like almost like like in the neighborhood of Ray Romano,
A
but
little.
like a more like not funny Ray Romano, but like a more serious, sort of gravely serious Ray Romano.
Yeah. What the hell is that guy's name?
Oh, let's look it up.
That's what
Although,
I was.
if you're looking that up, I do have another question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you think that Rex
Which one?
Calabrese?
Okay.
Do you think Rex Calabrese is the Penguin's dad?
Remind me, which one was Rex?
He is the gangster that was running everything, and like you see him in the flashback sequence where he's talking to the Penguin's mom. He's like, "You've been working too long."
Oh.
He's the one that was going to kill the Penguin. That's man. That's another thing. It's like you're telling The Sopranos for 7 episodes, and then episode 8 you turn it into The Omen, and it still works. That is my jam.
Oh, what if he wasn't the Penguin's dad, but he was the dad of the 2 other boys?
That also works.
And he was willing to kill the son, the kid that killed his 2 kids.
I mean, that works. I kind of wish they would have. That's you know what, that is too juicy of a breadcrumb to leave there. I like that.
All right, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend joins me every week to talk about the world of movies and entertainment. We'll leave it there for this week. Mike, fantastic job today. Way to do some good for the world, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, thank you. I may have lost my bid for the presidency, but that doesn't mean I can't become emperor.